to the Zendesk Morning Show. Unlike the lucky few nations that are trialling a phased approach back to normality, many of us continue to be in lockdown. The weather is warming up and I'm seeing more runners in the streets and in the parks. However, like most public places, my running club continues to be closed. What I love most about my running club is the opportunity to extend my network of training partners. Those that will offer up additional ideas or tips, someone to try different sessions with, those that will encourage and keep pace when I'm coming back from injury, or push me to be better when I didn't know I had the strength to go faster. Bill Rogers, an American runner, once said, "Your training partners are key to your success, and friendships based on your runs together are strong." Partners are critical to many of life's journeys, whether that be partners that are by your side, running and training partners, or, as in today's episode, partners in business, those that become part of your network. I am delighted to be welcoming 3 partners from a much valued partner network to share stories, interviews, and tips to help you and your teams. To kick off this morning's session, I'm pleased to invite Ben and David to the show to discuss how Ascensos is helping the NHS Scotland coordinate their support during this time. I also want to do a quick shout out to our healthcare workers for all that you're doing to help our nations and the communities during this time. Over to you, Ben.
Thanks, Pralini. I'm Ben Viollet, EMEA Partner Director at Zendesk. I'm working at home, just like many of you, and hoping the postman doesn't arrive anytime soon, as my 2 dogs will make a very, very virtual appearance. Joining me today from Bonnie, Scotland, is David Gilfillan, Technology Director at Ascensos. As a business process outsourcer, the Ascensos team has recently helped NHS Scotland coordinate their customer support and experience in these turbulent times. Welcome, David.
Thank you, Ben.
Tell us a little bit more about the project with NHS Scotland. And I think we would all agree that all of the health workers around the globe are the true heroes in this current crisis. What were they looking to achieve, and how did you help set them up for success?
Absolutely. So our initial discussions with them were just over a month ago now, and they were struggling with the demand for the coronavirus hotline which they'd set up. They weren't geared up enough to do it. They realised that there was going to be some other pieces of work that were going to take priority for their staff ongoing. And what they came to us for was, first of all, can we use your staff and your facilities to effectively man this support line? And secondly, can you help us with any innovations that will allow us to potentially de-risk the scenario of it being a phone-based solution? There was also this drive to improve the accuracy of information that was being sent out. And it's all very well being able to speak over a telephony line and give out advice, but we then again said that, you know, there's many aspects of live chat where you can potentially push huge amounts of data at someone and allow it to be up to date and entirely accurate. So again, it lent itself well to that channel. So what we did was we effectively embedded live chat in combination with our own IVR.
Mm-hmm.
So Zendesk and our IVR now talk to each other. And when someone phones up the NHS hotline, what it will do is it will first of all check to see if they're phoning from a mobile. If they're phoning from a mobile, it does a lookup and it speaks to Zendesk and it looks to see how many of the advisors are available at that time, how many are on existing conversations. And from there, it will then, if the stats are right, it will then pass to the person phoning up another IVR message saying, we have live agents available. Would you prefer to speak to a live agent immediately? And at that point, it then sends them an SMS, and then from there directly able to link into a live chat conversation. So it's a combination of analog technology in combination with digital, and what it's allowed is for us to give patients who are phoning in the opportunity to bypass the long queues that we were seeing, and also get that information, pretty seamlessly.
Absolutely. That's a huge amount of technology being deployed in a very, very short period of time, which absolutely talks to the agility of the platform, of course.
Yeah, and to be fair, Ben, just to give it an indication of the timelines involved, I think we had the approval on a Friday. We went live with our IVR and telephony solution the following Wednesday. And then it was a week following on from that we implemented the live chat solution. So we've gone from 0 to 100 miles, offering 2 separate channels and all of the rich MI and data that comes along with that within a very short space of time.
And for other organisations facing a similar challenge, do you have any particular advice for them?
A large part of what we do is Ascensos doesn't work in isolation. We have a huge partnership with a number of great organizations, and what I would do is say reach out to these business partners, because there are always people that are able to help. And what we found with Zendesk and many of the other people that or suppliers that we believe are partners are that they've provided us with all the help that we could possibly have got at this time. And a large part of what we've been able to do for the NHS has been built on solid partnerships.
Fantastic. Thank you, David. It's been a pleasure today, and thank you for the work that you've done. It's very, very inspiring and a great example, both for our customers, not only in public sector, but also beyond. Pralini, I'll hand it back to you.
Thanks, Ben and David. In our opening episode, we spoke a little bit about our Tech for Good program and shared a story from Maynooth Home Support in Ireland that was leveraging the program itself. Today, we are going to hear from Friends of Stretford Public Hall and our partner, Appamondo, who helps support the delivery of this program to them. A very warm welcome to both Rick and Simon.
As a Zendesk Master Partner, our team creates help desk tailored for clients' needs, connecting multiple channels of communication into an effective response service. Now, response, that usually for us means, where's my parcel, why is my train delayed, or how do I reset my password? But these are far from usual circumstances. And so when we heard about the Tech for Good program, we jumped on board in the first few minutes. This led to us building a help desk for an amazing organisation in the Friends of Stretford Public Hall. And I'm happy to be joined this morning by Simon Burkin, one of their trustees.
Hi, Rick. Thank you.
Thanks for joining us, Simon. Maybe you could just start and tell us a little bit about the Stretford Mutual Aid program that you're running.
Yes, so ordinarily I'm a trustee of a heritage building in Stretford, which we would ordinarily run events and activities for the community. But with the COVID outbreak, we had to close the doors. But recognising that we're quite a strong anchor within the community, we felt that we could start taking the lead in coordinating the support that we recognised that households will need as they were self-isolating and shielding. We have a high proportion of sort of older, vulnerable people in the community. In conjunction with the council, we started setting up a community response hub where we would start taking calls and delivering support, whether that be food parcels, picking up medication, well-being calls, check-ins with people. And we realized that we needed a technology to help us coordinate that. And that was when we kind of came to Zendesk through the social impact program and got linked in with Appamondo, who started helping us implement.
So you saw the information about Tech for Good. Obviously, we spoke initially to hear a bit more about your project, but maybe you can tell us a little bit about how that setup went, the deployment speed, how that solution's helped you, and what impact it's had on your volunteers and your wider community.
Yeah, so I mean, basically, I'd had no experience of using Zendesk before, so it was really important and really helpful that we got some implementation support. So I think within like 24 hours of getting through the application process, I got linked in with you guys, and we started, jumped on a call and we started the implementation. Basically, it was really, really, really useful because it allowed us to basically get something that would start to automate and provide some of the triage services that we basically needed, because we were taking lots of calls in and we had lots of volunteers that were doing all sorts of different things. So we just needed to manage those tickets and get them to the right people. And that was what Appamondo did. And to be honest, it's been, I think we got the system up and running within a matter of days. And we've been taking sort of 10, 20 calls a day and dealing with more tickets through other channels. And, we've been with our volunteer team, who we've basically brought on very quickly. They've been able to get the information they need and get the support out to the community.
That's amazing. So one last thing before we go, have you got any advice for any similar organisations, non-profits, or just the rest of the audience as to how they might use things like the automation for triage that you mentioned, or self-service support? What can they do to help them get through this challenge?
Yeah, I think, our experience has been that having, we want to spend most of our time on the phone to people, giving them support or getting out there and doing deliveries. So the more you can basically reduce your time on admin and coordination, the better, because it means you're spending more time actually talking to people and getting support to them. So actually, it might take a little bit of time investing in getting all those automations working, but I think it's time well spent. And the other tip, I think, is just, invest a bit in the training, because, with us, it was volunteers who hadn't used the system before when we were trying to get them up and running really quickly. So Appamondo produced some training videos for us, which were really helpful. And, I think it's really important that your volunteers feel comfortable using the system, because then they feel comfortable providing support.
That's great. Thank you so much, Simon, for joining us, and everybody else, stay safe.
Thanks very much.
Thanks for that great discussion, Rick and Simon. I want to thank Appamondo and all our partners supporting this initiative. We have over 50 partners signed up as volunteers for the program. Thank you for your continued support, contribution, and helping our collective communities. To continue our Feel Good episode today, I'm delighted to invite Elisa to share how Tymeshift is helping with the Zendesk Remote Support Bundle through agent productivity initiatives. Welcome, Elisa, looking as bright and colourful as ever.
Thanks, Pralini. Happy to join and welcome to my new office, which is my living room these days. Times are different now, and to all the parents out there working from home with their kids around them, I have 2 words for you. Stay strong. I know it can get pretty hectic, believe me, but I also know we can do this. These times are not easy for anyone, especially now that customer requests are, in average, up by 11%, according to the Zendesk benchmark report that has been recently released. That is why we're so glad we're being able to provide the tools that those teams need the most at no cost. Let's face it, none of us were planning any of this, and working from home is a shift that can greatly impact how we manage our support teams. Which is why I wanted to share with you how global teams are now using our WFH plan, which is part of the Zendesk Support Remote Bundle, to tackle agent productivity. Here are 3 things that might as well make your life as a remote manager a bit easier and hopefully your team a bit more productive. First off, I would recommend you to start by tracking your team activity, both within Zendesk as well as for everything that happens outside of it. For example, you can use custom states to track meetings, special projects, even breaks, and keep in mind that it is now more important than ever to make sure that your agents are taking those breaks they really deserve, as we all know how hard it is to do that when your office is right next to your couch. Onwards, once you do that, start monitoring your agents in real time. That will allow you to take those quick actions throughout the day right when they need to happen. That goes from unblocking someone that got stuck on a ticket but hasn't raised any questions yet, although they might need a little hand, all the way to making sure that not everyone is taking lunch at the same time. Seeing what your agents are doing and for how long in real time really helps feeling a little bit closer to your team. Finally, there is one more thing. Use those opportunities to coach your agents. Do not let the distance get on the way between you and your team. Communication is all we have right now to collaborate with each other, and using real-time stats is a great way to continue supporting your agents to master what they do. And yes, that also goes for praising your agents. Don't we all really love and appreciate when we get a praise when we are doing a great job? Well, I hope that these tips help you navigate the challenging times we're facing. And on that note, if you're a healthcare organization in need of additional tools or support to manage your workforce, please get in touch. We are helping by contributing with advanced WFM functionality at no cost and all the support you need to keep up with your team's productivity. Why? Because together we are stronger and we are committed to give the best that we have so that you can keep being the best that you are. Over to you, Pralini, and thank you for having us.
We have shared 3 remarkable stories of caring, sharing, and support today. Zendesk and our partners are here to help you and your teams. Feel free to reach out. We are here to listen, guide, and lend a helping hand. To hear more about the stories covered today, including watching our partner webinars, check out our Zendesk Morning Show homepage for the links, or to catch up on an episode you may have missed. Join us next week as we talk about innovation during challenging times and bundles available to help you get kickstarted. Thank you for joining us this morning. My ask of you today is to do something that makes you feel good, whether that's to help a loved one, a friend, a colleague, or the community. Keep safe and healthy, enjoy the weekend sunshine, and see you next Tuesday. Happy partnering!